Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking at something kind of hidden, but absolutely essential. Think about the vast networks connecting everything, the internet, our cities, power grids. How much do we actually rely on the physical stuff, the hidden infrastructure that makes it all work? Well, today we're diving into a key piece of that puzzle, the cable pulling equipment market. Every time a new fiber optic line goes in or a big power cable gets strung up or even wiring in a new smart building, it takes specialized gear, powerful winches, rollers, guides. That's the equipment we're talking about. Basically, the tools building our connected world.
Exactly. It's an industry you might not think about often, but its health really mirrors global development or push for more connectivity. So our goal today is to pull out the key insights from a pretty detailed report by Cognitive Market Research. They've looked at trends and projections for this market from 2021 right through to 2033. And understanding this helps, connect the dots on bigger global changes.
Right. And the scale we're talking about, it's significant. This market, even back in 2021, was valued at over $340 million. The projection, over $410 million by 2025, and then really taking off, maybe hitting over $600 million by 2033. That's a global compound annual growth rate, a CGR of almost 4.85%.
Okay, let's unpack this growth.
Yeah.
Because it's not the same everywhere, is it?
Not at all. That global average smooths out a lot of variation.
This is where it gets really interesting in looking at how different regions are driving this.
Definitely. If we zoom in a bit, Asia-Pacific APAC is just a powerhouse. It's showing a remarkable CGR over 5.5%. Its market value is set to basically double from about $114 million in 2021, projected to hit over $217 million by 2033.
Wow, double. That's huge.
It is. It's really fueled by, rapid urbanization, massive infrastructure builds, and just the scale of digital adoption happening there.
And within APAC, you mentioned India. Yes, India is really standing out. It actually has the fastest growth rate globally in this report, a strong 6.36% CAGR. That means going from just over $16 million in 2021 to projected over $34 million by 2033.
Okay, what's behind that specific surge in India? Is it new build?
Yeah, a lot of it seems to be greenfield development, building out new digital infrastructure, especially with big 5G rollouts happening and data center expansion. It's interesting to contrast that with China. China leads the region in total revenue, obviously. Their market's also set to nearly double from around $36 million to almost $70 million, still a very strong TAGR of 5.72%.
So China's more a mix of new and upgrades.
Exactly. New builds plus significant upgrades to their, already vast existing networks. And it's not just them. We're seeing impressive growth in Southeast Asia, too, over 6.1% CAGR. Singapore's strong at 5.8%. Taiwan's expected to reach nearly $8.7 million by 2033. The whole region is just wiring itself up at speed.
Okay, let's shift continents. What about South America? The report shows strong expansion there, too.
Yes. Overall, KGR for South America is over 5.1%. The market's projected to grow from about $23.5 million to nearly $43 million by 2033.
Similar drivers or different factors at play?
Well, maybe not quite the explosive pace of APAC, but definitely a strong upward trend. Argentina actually stands out, growing at over 5.6% CAGR. That's from around $4.1 million to nearly $8 million.
And Brazil, still the largest market.
Yes, Brazil leads in revenue, climbing from $8.6 million toward over $15 million by 2033. It reflects increased investment in digital infrastructure, smart city projects, maybe catching up in some areas of connectivity compared to other regions.
Makes sense. Now, the Middle East also showing consistent growth.
That's right. A CAGR just over 5%, growing from about $14.6 million to over $26.5 million by 2033.
What's notable there?
I think it's the really ambitious smart city projects, and the economic diversification efforts. Look at the UAE, strong growth, over 5.6% CAGR. That's going from $2.8 million to $5.4 million.
Doubling, almost.
Pretty much. And Saudi Arabia is also significant, over 5.1% CAGR, growing from $3.3 million to over $6.1 million. They're building highly connected, tech-forward urban centers, often from scratch. That requires a lot of cable pulling.
Okay, let's turn to Africa. Emerging potential seems to be the story there.
Definitely. The market's projected to rise from nearly $14 million to over $25 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of almost 4.5%.
Still solid growth.
It is. And remember, Africa's potential is immense. Many countries are still in the early phases of digital transformation. South Africa is a key driver here, with a strong 5.08% CAGR. That's doubling its market too, from $5.5 million to over $10.6 million.
And Nigeria.
Nigeria also shows solid growth, over 4.7% CAGR, getting close to $4.2 million by 2033.
As the continent urbanizes more and works to bridge that digital divide, the need for this kind of foundational equipment is just going to grow.
Right, okay. Across the Atlantic North America, a big market already, but still growing. Absolutely, a very substantial contribution. The overall market was nearly $100 million back in 2021, projected to grow to over $164 million by 2033, with a CAGR over 4.2%.
And the U.S. dominates that figure, I assume.
Yes, the U.S. is the major player. Projected growth from over $83 million to over $136 million by 2033. That's about a 4.15% CAGR.
Okay.
What's quite interesting, though, is Canada actually shows a slightly higher CAGR, over 5.16%, expanding from about $8.3 million to over $15 million.
Why the slightly faster rate in Canada, do you think?
It could reflect things like ongoing investments in rural broadband, maybe modernizing older infrastructure. It's steady, necessary investment, even if it's not quite the explosive growth you see elsewhere.
Got it. And finally, Europe. The report suggests a more mixed picture there.
Yeah, diverse performance is a good way to put it. Overall, Europe's growing from around $75 million to over $125 million by 2033. That's a CAGR of over 4.4%.
So still healthy overall.
Oh, yes. And some parts are very strong. Germany, for example, shows robust growth over 5% AGR. That takes its market from $15.5 million up to nearly $28 million, likely driven by industrial upgrades, data centers.
And not everywhere is like Germany.
No. Russia, for instance, shows a slower CGR, just over 3.1%, projected to reach about $6.6 million by 2033. So you see this variation across the continent. It reflects different investment levels, new infrastructure versus maintenance, different economic priorities.
And other key European countries.
We're seeing solid numbers. The UK, around 4.73% CGR, heading towards almost $20 million. Spain is similar, actually. Same CGR, 4.73%, aiming for over $10 million.
Okay.
Then you have France, Italy, Sweden, all showing healthy growth, too. France a bit under 4%, Italy just over 4%, Sweden over 4.6%, projected around $5.8 million.
So what does this all mean when we look at the entire picture, all these numbers, these regional stories? It seems clear this global expansion isn't random. There must be some powerful forces driving it all.
Exactly. If we connect this to the bigger picture, yeah, it really comes down to maybe three core drivers. First, there's just constant technological advancement, not just faster internet, but smarter gear. Automation in the pulling equipment itself, making things faster, safer.
Tool getting better.
Second, there's this ever-increasing demand for infrastructure new and upgrades. Think smart grids, massive renewable energy projects needing new lines, and just the sheer volume of fiber needed for AI, VR, all that data. And third, it's the growing adoption of smart solutions everywhere. Smart factories, autonomous vehicles, they all need dense, reliable connections.
A lot more connections needed, basically.
Fundamentally, yes. Each of these trends just piles on the demand for the equipment that actually lays the groundwork. So ultimately, what this deep dive shows is a market cable pulling equipment that's, well, pretty healthy and dynamic, really, across the globe. It's not some sleepy niche. It's critical. This hidden industry is vital for enabling connectivity, modern infrastructure, everything we rely on. And it looks set to keep growing as the world gets more digital.
It really underlines how much depends on this foundational work. So as you've been listening to all this, think about it. What particular region's growth, or maybe its specific trend, stood out most to you, Gyu? Did anything here surprise you?
Yeah, and it raises an important question, doesn't it? If this is the backbone, what surprising new demands might pop up for this invisible work as things get even more connected and data-heavy? Think about all that activity under our streets, inside walls. We don't see it. But the evolution of this market, it directly impacts what's possible next with AI, smart homes, EVs, you name it. Global connectivity relies on it. It really is the hidden engine driving tomorrow.